Hey guys, welcome back to the AJP Tour Podcast. I'm your host, Will Safford, and a little bit later on, we'll be speaking with rising star Guthierry Barbosa. Guthierry is a brand new black belt who is finding tremendous success. He just won the AJP Tour Miami Grand Slam in the 85 kilo division. So really excited to share his story as a young kid in Rio, working his way up through the ranks, traveling around the world, competing, and now finding success at the highest level. But before that, a few updates to share with you. First, we had to postpone the upcoming Abu Dhabi Jiu Jitsu World Classic, better known as the World Pro, due to some travel restrictions. So that has been pushed back to February of 2021. There's more details on AJPTour.com, so make sure you check out the website. But we're excited to announce that the upcoming Rio Grand Slam is set to go December 5th and 6th down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You guys can sign up and register at AJPTour.com, so make sure you check it out. We've also got details on how we're gonna keep everybody safe at our upcoming events on the site as well. But without further ado, let's get to the latest episode of the AJP Tour Podcast with Guthierry Barbosa. All right, we are back with Guthierry Barbosa. Guthierry, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Congratulations on your recent win at the Miami Grand Slam. That was an awesome performance you had down there. We'll get into that a little bit more, but I wanted to ask you for people who don't know about you, and you know you're a new black belt. You're kind of a rising star on the scene right now. Tell us your story. How did you come up through the ranks? Where are you from? Who are you under? Tell us about you.
All right. So first, I'm from Brazil. I'm from the state of Rio de Janeiro. Mm-hmm. I was born in the city of Duque de Caxias in the state of Rio de Janeiro. So I started training at the age of 13 because I remember I was in the middle school at the time, and a friend from school, he invited me to Jiu Jitsu. So I tried a class and I like it, and I just kept working. So I started training in a social project in my neighborhood in Duque de Caxias. So that's where everything started, I started in a social project because I was invited from a friend invited me to start training. And that's where I met my professor, Juan Lopes. He's my master until this day. So that's where everything started. I was 13 years old, Before Jiu-Jitsu, like most of Brazilian guys, I was in play soccer, My dream was to become a soccer player like most of the guys. But okay. I wasn't that good. So, as soon as when I started training Jiu-Jitsu, I was still playing soccer, but I stopped soccer and I kept just doing Jiu-Jitsu because I like Jiu-Jitsu better. And since day one, I fell in love with Jiu-Jitsu. And then I just started training, never stopped training until this day. So that's how everything started. So I was 13 years old when I started training, So
okay,
and 2 months later, I already went to my first competition. So with 2 months of Jiu-Jitsu, I already competed. I ended up losing. I only had one match. I got second place, but it was fun, And
wow.
After that, I said, man, because I lost, I want to win. So I went back to the gym and started training more. So I started training harder, and I won when I competed for the second time. And then after I won that one, I was like, I'm doing this for life. And then that's where everything started. At the age of 13.
Wow.
And I'm here.
And so how old are you now?
I'm 21 years old now.
21 years old. And eventually, so you were under your master. What is your professor's name again?
My professor's name is Juan Lopes da Silva. He's also from Duque de Caxias. I remember that in 2019, I competed Europeans, and then I stayed in America because I was fighting for the AJP rank. So mm-hmm. that was an amazing experience. I stayed in Europe for like 2 or 3 months, just traveling, competing, trying to win the rank. I ended up not winning because I started competing late, In 2018, if I'm not mistaken, I won the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Yeah. So in 2018, I won Abu Dhabi Grand Slam in Rio de Janeiro. It was amazing, I had a great experience.
I wanted to get into all those because I was looking at your record and you competed a ton on the AJP Tour.
Yes.
Before we get into all that, I just want to ask you about the recent one that you just competed and won at in Miami. It was the American leg of the Grand Slams, the U.S. The Miami Grand Slam, and you fought in the 85 kilo division as a black belt. Your first time competing, I'm pretty sure, as a black belt under the AJP Tour.
Yes, so that was my first tournament after the quarantine. And,
right, yeah.
And my first tournament back and my first AJP tournament. And, you know, it was amazing because I was just happy to be competing. You know, I was like 6 months without competing. So I was just happy to be able to compete again. Plus, you know, at AJP, thank God, they always give us a cash prize. So that was... It had a little extra motivation to me, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So I had a couple fights. Everything good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was a little choppy, but you were saying you had 4 fights?
I had 3 matches.
3 matches, okay.
And my first match, I was able to win by submission. The second match, I won by points. And the last match, I won by 1 advantage, you know? So, you know, first match was okay. Second match was hard. And the last one was insane. So, it was, you know, I was just, was amazing. You know, I was happy, you know, first tournament back. I had some fights. It was amazing.
So let's talk about that final a little bit. You have a little bit of a rivalry going with Ronaldo Jr. You guys have matched up quite a few times. I think he's maybe gotten you a few times, and then you got him just recently in the final of the Miami Grand Slam. He's one of the top guys right now. What is it like competing against him?
Yeah, so I know I remember when I was a purple belt, I competed against Ronaldo like 6 times.
Wow.
6 times, yeah. So you might be wondering how it is. So he beat me 4 times and I beat him 2 times. So that's how it was. So we only competed when we were purple belt. And that was the first time that I competed against him in the black belt. And I was able to win. But answering your question is always very hard to compete against him. He's a very tough opponent, you know. But that day, I had everything planned, you know. My mind was in the right place. I had a good strategy, and I did what I had to do, and I ended up winning. But it's always tough, man, because he's a very tough competitor, you know. Anything can happen. So
of course.
That's how I have to say stuff. But I gave everything. Every time I go against him, I try to give my best, and I just gave my best, and I ended up winning. So
you have to be very smart against him because he's very fast. He can snatch a submission very quickly. So it seems like you played a little bit more of a strategic match against him.
Because we both are very unpredictable, you know? Yep. We can pull, we can pass, we can take it out if we have to. So it's very hard to know what he's going to do, because he can do anything. And basically, I can do anything, you know? All of our matches were different. Sometimes we pull, sometimes we pass, you know? It's always changed. So we never know what's going to happen. But I know if I give my best and I be smart, I will take the victory. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you always have exciting matches. That's why having both of you guys match up in the final, I mean, that was just an awesome final to watch. It came down to one advantage, and then in AJP, you get a point for basically an advantage. It becomes a point. So you were able to win the match. Yeah, in that case was
a point, yes.
But I was looking at your record in the AJP Tour. You have 34 total wins, 16 of which were by submission. That's like half by submission. That's really impressive. Almost half. So is that your strategy? Is that your mindset? You always want to go out and submit the guy?
Yeah. To be honest, that's not what was in my mind, submit the guy. One thing that's always in my mind is win, no matter how. If it's submission, if it's by point, 1 advantage, ref decision, I just want to win. But during the match, I'm always looking forward to submit my opponent, of course. So in that, and then you ask, most of them are from submission is because like my thing when I compete, I like taking control over the fight, and then whatever is there, I take, you know? Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm not always looking for submission. I'm always looking to dominate my opponent. And when you dominate your opponent, eventually you are able to get the submission, you know what I mean? So of course, I always want to submit, but that's not the first thing that comes to my mind. I just want to win first. That's everything. Every time I'm in the match, I'm like, I just gotta win, no matter how. And then, you know, as the fight goes, if I can submit, I do submit. But if not, I just secure the win. And yeah, that's how I think when I compete. But the submissions, that was good.
That's kind of like the I wouldn't say old school, but it's, you know, that was how a lot of the older school fighters approached jiu-jitsu. They said, well, if I can get past your legs, that's 3 points, right? I get to side control, but now I'm in a better position to submit you. If I can mount you or take your back, I'm in a better position to submit you. So it's kind of like you just said, you want to control. So it's kind of always going forward, right? And that will eventually lead you to submission. Because
I feel like a lot of guys, they want to submit a lot. They want to go for a submit, but they don't have a good position. And then they don't secure the point first. Like, let's say I pull guard and I just start attacking submission. But if I don't have a good position to submit, it's going to be hard. So my thing's like, get a good position and then submit, you know? So that's how I think. But if I have a opportunity to submit at the first minute, I will. But, you know, at the higher level, it's very hard because everybody's professional. Everybody trains hard. So that is never an easy match. So we have to really be careful. We have to really, you know, pay attention. So, and it's not easy to submit everybody, but I try to do it as much as I can.
Especially in AJP Tour, it's only a 5-minute match, so you don't really have 5 minutes.
And then if you make a mistake, everything can be over. You know, like in my first match, now you guys just update the rule where you can grab inside of the pant, right, on the hip. Right. And then at the first minute, the guy was winning by 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know it, and I didn't know the rule until after the match, and then the referee told me that I couldn't grab. But like, I almost lost the first match because I made mistakes that I didn't know, that I shouldn't know, and I almost lost. I was able to know to came after it and submit my opponent, but a little more, I would have lost in the first match because 5 minutes goes by so fast. But to be honest, I like 5 minutes because that is always action. I feel like the people like watching 5 and 6 minutes match because it's always insane. Like I send the link from AJP to my family back home, and they like it because it's short and it's fun. Sometimes I send them a link from other organization and what is like minutes. And a lot of times it's not very fun, and they be like, "Oh, it was okay, but it's too long, this and that," because they don't understand a lot. But I feel like 5 minutes and 6 minutes is more action. So like, even if you don't do jiu-jitsu, it can be fun, you know?
Absolutely, 100%. And like you said, you know, in your first match, you were down by 4 points, but then you came back and won by submission. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, right? You're never out of it. You can always come back and you can always win if you submit the other guy. So very impressive to do that in down by 4 points and then come back and win by submission. So that was awesome. One thing I noticed about you is that you like to attack from the back. You're always on the back.
I'm always from the back. Back for me is the ultimate goal. Mount is good, but I like the back a lot because from any position you can chase the back. If you're playing guard, you can go and take the back. If you're on the side control, you can go and take the back. So like, for me, I'm always looking forward to take the back. And for some reason, my coach, he has always told me to chase the back because back is the ultimate goal. You think about it, you behind the guy's back. Like, what else can he do? You know, mount is good, but I feel back is the greatest because back is a position where you have so many options. You can choke, you can go for armbar, you know, and then plus is the position where you can hold. So like, you have a lot of options, and pretty much like when you take the guy's back, it's over, you know? Yeah. It's very hard for a person to escape.
I notice even you have a really dynamic guard. You have a great guard, but your passing is unbelievable. And a lot of times when you get the guy, when you pass, you make the guy turtle. The guy, I notice. And then you're on the back, like, you know, just in 2 seconds, boom, you're on the back. So
honestly, like most of the time when I'm trying to pass the guard, I'm passing, but I'm looking forward to take the back. Like most people, they want to pass, start last 3 points. Like when I pass, I like letting the guy give him, like, because when he tried to pass the guy's guard, first thing he tried to do is push.
Mm-hmm.
He want to push you to recompose the guard. And if he can, what he's going to do, turtle to defend himself and eventually recompose the guard. So I use that moment when he's trying to turtle to recompose to take his back, you know?
Awesome. That's strategy.
That works for me, you know? Of course, I pass, I can't stabilize, but taking it back, it feels good. It feels like domination, you know? Like something like about jiu-jitsu is like, it's dominating. That's, you know, winning is good, you know, winning money, winning medals, but for us, jiu-jitsu fighters, like you know that feeling when you dominate, that's a good feeling, you know. So it's fun, like that's something that I like to do, dominate. Like if I can take the back to mid, that's the greatest thing for me, you know.
That sounds like a real champion's mindset. You know, you don't you want to dominate.
A lot of people see me competing a lot. Like I was traveling compete, but you know, competing is not just about winning medals, it's just about the lifestyle, like going, you know, making the weight, competing, you know, having the ring coordinator calling your name, you know, hanging out around the warm-up area, everything. It's not just going on the party, because as soon as you step on the party and then you leave, everything is over, you know, because every single week there is a new tournament. So like Grand Slam is over, you know, like nobody will remember. Like people do, but we already think about Rio de Janeiro Grand Slam, you know what I mean? So as soon as you step outside, we move to the next one, you know? So
man, it's really amazing listening to you talk, because a lot of people don't understand the life of a competitor, especially the life of a young competitor who's maybe a blue belt or even a white belt. Just hearing your story, you were back and forth between the United States and Brazil every year, going back and forth, training, going to Europe, you know, competing with your coach. There's so much effort that goes into a competitor's life.
Yeah.
And then that moment of glory comes and it's gone. And then you're on to the next one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I was even talking to my coach last week. I was like, man, remember when we were in Europe, competing everywhere, you know, trying to win the ranking. He won the ranking. He went to Abu Dhabi. He ended up winning awards in the, if I'm not mistaken, in the 56 kilo division, Master one, he won. You know, he was to qualify and go. But not just that, just like the experience, you know, of traveling, sleeping in the airport, sleeping in the academy, you know, a lot of struggling a lot, you know, because, you know, it's life, because we live day by day, you know. We don't have, you know, we don't have a lot of support like all the sports like basketball and football. But we love what we do, but even you know, we're doing what we love, it's very difficult. It's not easy, you know. But we love what we do, so that's why we do, you know. A lot of times, not even for the money, just for the experience and for the life, because that's what we do, you know.
So I was looking. It looks like in 2018, 2019, you competed a lot on the AJP Tour. You were a brown belt. You won the Rio Grand Slam, which is notoriously one of the most difficult tournaments in the world. You had 6 matches to get to the goal, or 6 matches to get gold. You won 3 via submission, 3 via points. Tell us about that. What was that like, competing in your hometown, you know, on the AJP Tour?
Yeah. So to be honest, that was like very tough. Like it wasn't easy. Like, and it was amazing because I was at home, and you know, I was going through a lot at the time. So I really need to win the money too, you know. So I had the extra motivation to go in and fight hard. You know, I almost broke my foot on the semifinal, but I was able to keep going. If you see the match, I don't know if you can see, I had a band on my feet. I think it was the left or the right side. Both were hurt, but one of them was really bad. But you know, that tournament was purely based on determination, because it was tough, man. But I had determination to win. I had a goal, you know. Plus, like I said, the money too. You know, it helps a lot. So I did what I have to do, and I gave my best. But it was even better because I was back. I was in my hometown with my friends, my teammates, my coach, and and with that, it was even more special. So it was amazing, man. Nothing to complain. I'm just thankful, and yeah, I'm looking forward.
I didn't know that you had a foot injury as well. I mean,
but I was injured in the I think the semifinal. The guy was able to get Toho, a really tough guy from Alliance. I don't know if I can say his name or not. Better not.
Okay.
He gave me a really hard footlock, Toho. You know, on one side he gave me a footlock, and on the other side he gave me a Toho, and it hurts really bad. My foot was big; it was all swelled. But I went back home, put ice, came back next day. I was able to win. I thought about not competing, but I had the determination to win, so I just did what I had to do.
Man. Sometimes it's even harder because in the Grand Slam they do 2 days of competitions, and then they do the finals on. Usually it's Sunday or Saturday. You compete in your bracket, and then finals on Sunday. So sometimes it's even worse coming back. When you've had a day to, for all the swelling to happen. If it's the finals is the same day, you have the adrenaline going and you're like, all right, let's just do this. But you went home and then came back with a bummed foot and fought the final and won. Yeah. Wow.
But I'll tell you, like I said before, for us, it's not just about winning. It's more like the lifestyle. I like it 2-3 days tournament because I feel like I get to enjoy, I go Friday, I make the weight, go back home, come back Saturday, compete, come back Sunday. I like that. The problem is when you get hurt. But I feel like you are able to perform it better because you go make the weight, you come back, you're able to recover, you come back the next day fresh,
Right.
You fresh, healthy, and then you're able to fight. And then you fight good because you ate, and then you're able to go back home, rest, just focus on the finals, and then you come back the next day, and then you are able to complete the finals. Because a lot of times you're not having a good day, but you are able to get to the finals. And then maybe if you compete, you're not feeling 100%, and then you have the time to go, think and come back even better. But once you get hurt, everything changed. But I like that way because I feel like it's more fun. And then for the people watching at home, it becomes more interesting, because they watch one day and then the next day everybody's waiting for the finals, everybody's excited, and I like that, to be honest. I like the way AJP does the organize. I like the way that they organize. Other organizations, you go compete one day and you go home. It's fun, but I like the way it goes on AJP.
I agree. It is pretty cool having, especially the World Pro. I really like the World Pro because that's a couple of days long, and then you have you have to qualify in your country, right? So the Brazilian qualifier is like a little mini world bracket in itself. So you have to get through all that, and then you come back the next day, and then you have to fight in the actual world bracket with everybody else. So you're right. It's really it sets up some really awesome storylines. And you're right. The guys come back fresh the next day. They're energized. They're ready to go.
And then I feel like what everybody wants to see. Also, people that are organizing, they want to see action. They want to see beautiful jiu-jitsu. They want to see war. So the way they do, they put the fighters in a position where they can give their best, where they can give 100%. Without thinking, without hesitating, because once you make the weight and then you go compete right after you make the weight, you're not the same. Right. Imagine if I have to make 77 kilos, what's very difficult for me, and competing 10 minutes, I wouldn't be able to perform well. But if I can make the weight today and compete tomorrow, it's so much better. All the big organizations, they do that way, like MMA, even judo, everybody does like that, and I feel like it's good. Everybody loves that. All the fighters, you can ask them, they like, except for the ones that doesn't lose weight. But even me, like when I compete in the 85 kilo division, I don't have to make weight because I walk around like 83, 84 kilos.
Okay.
When I'm not on diet, I stay like 85. But if I eat clean, I can be very comfortable in that division. But I still like going to the weigh-in, you know, seeing everybody. Because like I said, it's not just about winning. It's like about the whole process, like the lifestyle. Going to the weigh-in, you know, seeing your friends. Because I feel like jiu-jitsu, you know, is everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to win. But one thing nice about jiu-jitsu is the friendships that we make.
Yes.
I have traveled all over the world, and I have friends everywhere. So everywhere I go, I know people. I talk to them. You know, I get to hang out with them. So it's the whole thing. It's everything that makes fun. Not just winning the medal, but you know, the whole process.
Man, that's a great point. I hadn't really thought about that. You know, I mean, I'm not a competitor, so I don't have that perspective. But you're right. It's now that I'm thinking about it, the AJP Tour, the weigh-ins are always the day before, and it's always like a little mini party. Like everyone's just in a good vibe.
You know, nobody's on that fight mode yet.
Yes.
Everybody's hungry. Everybody's just hungry, thinking about eating. You know, so you are able to make the weight. Everybody's hungry, thinking about food. So everybody makes the weight. You know, people get to go to the restaurant, eat, talk, and then when the next day comes, and then we change. You know, we win a fight, this and that. But the whole process, man.
Man, so you've been all over the world. I was looking at on the AJP Tour, you've competed in Abu Dhabi, Slovenia, the Netherlands, Austria, London, amongst many other places. Is there any place that you really enjoy traveling to?
So the most favorite, man, like I think
it's tough to pick, huh?
You know, did I compete in? No, I didn't compete in Germany, right? I didn't compete in Germany. No.
I don't remember seeing Germany. No.
No, I didn't compete in Germany, but I was based on Germany.
Okay.
So like, I went to Slovenia, I went to Austria, but I didn't get to enjoy much because I was just going, competing, and coming back to Germany. Like, but if I have to say, London was the best place, not because I like London, but because I was able to enjoy London.
I see.
Was the last tournament before going back to US. So I feel like it was the only place that I really got to enjoy. But I stay a lot in Germany, so I like Germany a lot, even though that I didn't compete in Germany. But Germany and London was the only place in Europe that I was able to really, you know, enjoy things. I competed in Spain too, but I didn't get to see much as well. But it seems very fun. Austria seems very fun. Slovenia, not very fun, but it was nice. Actually, Slovenia was the first tournament that I competed when I was running to win the rank. But you know, the experience was amazing. You know, even I didn't get to see much. Like, it's nice to see how people love jiu-jitsu all over the world, because you know, jiu-jitsu is from Brazil, but when you travel to different places, you see how people love jiu-jitsu. You know, a lot of people don't realize that jiu-jitsu is man, everywhere you go, if you take your gear, you can train jiu-jitsu.
Worldwide. Everywhere
I went to, you know, I was able to train with different people, meet different people, and it was very fun, man. I'm looking forward to do it again, you know. Of course, I want to try to win the rank again, but with the whole COVID situation, it's very difficult to compete a lot right now. So hopefully in the next years, when everything is back to normal, I can do it again, even better, you know, compete everything, try to win the rank. And
definitely.
And I like that even when I was competing, the tournaments, I didn't win any money, but they have a little rank. I don't know if you noticed.
If
you know, you might know, they have a rank in Europe. Like they select a couple of tournaments, and then if you get some points, they pay for you. They pay for your tickets and your hotel. So I was competing all those tournaments, and I was able to win a ticket from Germany to London and a hotel. And I remember that me and my friends, we stayed in a hotel in London where they paid for my ticket, and it was fun, you know. I feel like what I like about AJP is that they make us feel professional, you know?
Yes.
Like, even though not every time they pay us, but for us, when we know that when we feel that we are treated like professionals, it's nice, you know.
Yes.
It feels good to feel like, man, like people will people really recognize us, because you know how jiu-jitsu is. A lot of people don't recognize us as a professional athlete, even though that's the only thing we do, most of the black belts. And having an organization like AJP that they support us how they can is very great. I'm very grateful for it. You know, it's very nice.
Totally. I think it's really cool. I mean, all the things you just said about touring around and meeting people and experiencing different cultures. And I've always said that jiu-jitsu is kind of like a universal language, you know, because you can go to a different country, let's say Slovenia, right? And you don't speak the language, but someone trains jiu-jitsu there and you know jiu-jitsu. You guys can have a little kind of like discussion in jiu-jitsu. You know, you connect through rolling. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And like you said, you do sometimes get the opportunity to win some money as well. So that always makes things pretty cool.
Yeah. And plus, like you said, jiu-jitsu is like a language. When I started training, I was very shy, man. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was very shy, you know. But as I started training, I had to talk to people. So jiu-jitsu, and I started training just to give me confidence to talk to people, you know. Doesn't matter who it is, you know. I'm able to talk right now because of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu gave me the confidence, you know, that a lot of people don't have, especially a young guy like 13 years old. Yep. I wasn't very confident to talk to people, but it gave me that. I'm very grateful for jiu-jitsu, you know. This gave me opportunity to live in America, to travel all over the world, you know, even though I'm not rich, but I'm healthy, I'm happy because I do jiu-jitsu, and hopefully one day I can get rich too, you know, but I don't need that to be happy, but I'm happy right now with the situation that I am at because of jiu-jitsu, man. Like, jiu-jitsu changed my life and a lot of people's life, you know. A lot of people like me, a lot of guys like me coming out of Brazil, we use jiu-jitsu as a way out, you know, like because, you know, things are hard in Brazil. Like if you're not rich in Brazil, it's very difficult, you know. Like I feel like a lot of places like Europe and outside of Brazil, you don't need to be rich to have a good life, but I feel like here is a little bit more difficult. So jiu-jitsu give us like I would say like a way out, an opportunity of life, you know. And that's what I do for a living, you know. Thank God, you know, I have good people around me, you know. I have people that support me, and I'm able to help my family a little bit, and I'm happy, you know. And it's just the beginning, you know. This is my first year as a black belt. I'm 21 years old. Hopefully I can compete in the highest level until I'm 35, 36. So I have a long way to go. So I'm just enjoying the moment, you know. Unfortunately, we're going through the pandemic situation. I was really excited to compete World Pro in Abu Dhabi next month, but they end up changing the date. But I'm excited to compete. You know, I have never competed, but hopefully next year.
I wanted to ask you, I read somewhere that you also like the stand-up. You like striking. You like, I don't know if you do Muay Thai or boxing, but would you ever maybe pursue like MMA or anything like that?
Absolutely. Like I have like a lot of goals in jiu-jitsu, but I feel like at the age of 25, maybe like 24, 25, I want to do my professional debut in MMA. Now I'm still very young. I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish in jiu-jitsu. So I want to go to MMA soon, you know, but not right now. And I love jiu-jitsu. I hope if I'm going to MMA, I still want to be competing jiu-jitsu at the highest level. So I'm already trained. I already trained in striking. I already started learning. I have a boxing coach back in California.
Cool.
And
how often do you train stand-up?
So I was training with my coach Albert, and we were training like just 2-3 times a week. But I stopped because I had to travel. You know. But eventually I will get back to it. Also in Brazil here, I train striking. I train with my friends here, with my brother Bruno. He's a Muay Thai coach. I train with the guys in my gym too. So I've been training, you know. So when I start, I'll be prepared. You know, I feel like the moment is now. I'm young, you know. I'm just learning. Like, I feel like a lot of guys, they want to do MMA, but they wait too long to start learning. I'm learning right now. I'm not competing anytime soon, but when I do compete, I'll make sure I'm ready, because I think like this. I don't want to be a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu doing MMA. I want to be like a black belt in MMA. You know what I mean? I want to be the best I can be in every single area, either striking, takedown. I want to be good at everything. Wrestling, I want to be complete. So I already start training right now, even though I'm not competing anytime soon.
Well, that's the mindset you have to have, man. You got to go in there thinking that you want to be the best at everything, right?
Yeah, because fight, anything can happen in a fight, especially in a fight. So you gotta be prepared. You gotta prepare yourself all over the board because anything can happen in a fight. And
Definitely.
Then I feel like jiu-jitsu is fun, this and that, but MMA is different.
It's a whole nother animal.
Really trying to hurt you when you do MMA. Like your life is on the line. If you make I know a guy that he got punched so hard in the head that he holds his whole body paralyzed. Oof. Like he only able to move his high because he got punched in the head, and then there is some vein that I don't know the name that if something happens, if someone hits you there,
yeah,
it can affect your whole body. And the guy his whole body paralyzed. He's even from my city. It happens like a few years ago. He was like a young guy that he should be one of the best, but it happens.
Gosh. Yeah.
So that is no joke in MMA. People really trying to hurt you. Basically, people are trying to kill you if you let them know, because it's not a game. And plus, like I said, like we do this for life. It's a survival thing. So if the guys have to break your arm or knock you out or hurt you, he will, because that's what we do. That doesn't mean we hate each other, but that's the way it is.
Yeah,
like,
that's the rules, right?
Like back in Grand Slam Rio when I compete, the guy almost broke my foot. He almost broke my foot. That doesn't mean he doesn't like me, but he wants to win. I didn't want to tap, and he did what he had to do. So
exactly,
it's never personal, but we have to.
Speaking of the Rio Grand Slam, you mentioned it earlier that the AJP, actually the World Pro was postponed this year because there were some issues with flying people in due to the pandemic. But the Rio Grand Slam is still on December 4th through the 6th. So there's an opportunity there. Right now, you are ranked number 1 in the Grand Slam ranking at the 85 kilo division. And you're also tied for number 1 overall. There's a few people tied overall because a lot of people who finished first place all got the same amount of points. So right now there's a lot of people tied for first place in the overall ranking, the black belt ranking. But you are at the top alone in the 85 kilo division for the Grand Slam ranking. Do you think you might try to get down to Brazil for the Grand Slam?
Yeah, I want to compete. I even comment on the post that I can't wait to compete, but I'm not 100% sure because I might be traveling. I don't know, to be honest, but I'll do my best to compete. I really want to compete because of the local COVID situation is hard, but I really want to compete. I'll do my best to compete,
I hear you, man. It's in your hometown, it's in Rio. I don't know if you've got family there, but it's during the holidays. It's a good time to go down and see family. So maybe, we'd love to see you down there. So
yeah. Hopefully I can compete and I'll see you there. Will you be there or not?
I think I'll be there. Yeah. So
you are everywhere, man.
I'm all.
Hey, if you're there, hopefully you can come to my gym and record me during a training session.
Man, that would be awesome. I'd love to do that. That would be so cool. And then maybe I'll even train with you a little bit.
So if I'm competing, say again.
No, I said it would be great to come there and
I didn't hear.
It would be awesome to come and train with you in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Yeah, maybe if I'm competing and I'm in Brazil, that would be fun. I would love to have you in my gym, in my city, in my hometown, during a training session. That would be fun.
That would be great, man. Let's wrap this thing up. One last thing I want to ask you. You've traveled all over the world. You've worked really hard. Right now, you're starting to find some great success as a black belt, a young black belt. What advice would you give to somebody who maybe is a young kid in Brazil somewhere who wants to be like you, wants to find success? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to work hard and listen to the coach, because it's very important at the beginning of your career to have a good coach and listen to them. I remember when I started competing, anything that my coach told me I would do. And I feel like at the big he's a big part of my success, my coach, because he gave me great advice. He put me on the right lane. So I think working hard and listening to your coach and following your own, what I would say, following your own feeling, how I would say, because when you start training and you want to be a superstar, when you want to be a jiu-jitsu champion, a lot of people will tell you to stop. A lot of people want to try to take you from your goal. So just stick with your plan. Do whatever is in your heart. That's what I do until this day. I do whatever is in my heart. Most of the people, most of my family, they didn't want me to do jiu-jitsu at the beginning. They wanted me to stop and do something else because they didn't know that jiu-jitsu could give me a life, But I had a feeling that I had a future in jiu-jitsu, so I just follow my own heart, So follow your heart, listen to your coach, and work hard. I think these are the three top things. First thing, you have to love what you do. So if you love jiu-jitsu and you want to make it, you gotta work hard, listen to your coach, and follow your own instincts. You know what I mean? That's how I do things. That's how I always have done, and it works for me.
That's great advice, man. That's phenomenal advice. So thank you so much, man. This was a great conversation. I learned a lot about you. I'm a fan now, so I can't wait to see you out on the mat again. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. I hopefully I can see you again, and we can talk soon more.
All right. Sounds good, Guthierry. Thanks again, brother.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, man.